think you'll get the general gist that there's going to be a lot of hotness going on. On this segment, we're going to welcome Eileen Roden. And Eileen, what's the hot PMO soft skill this month?
Eileen, you're with us. You're on mute if you're there. There we go. We're 5 minutes in and we've been able to say
schoolboy era. Well, I'm glad it's me. That's it, over and done with. Everything can go perfectly well now. So one of the things we always kind of talk about, people get lots of technical skills and we don't spend an awful lot of time in investing in some of the soft skills, and they really do help us do our day job. But something that people often forget, it's not just developing skills, but you have to develop some behaviors around those skills in order to enhance the impact they have on us. So if Lindsay just goes to the next slide, I just want to talk just a couple of minutes on just giving us a little bit to think about over the next month about looking at our kind of time management skills. Now, Lindsay's going to talk a little bit more coming up. Time management is this ability to organize and plan how to divide our time effectively, and most people these days have more work than they've got time to do. Trying to pick out, and we talked at House of PMO a little bit about separating things into kind of rocks, pebbles and sand, making sure we get all the rocks in place, all those big things that really have to be done, then trying to jiggle out the slightly smaller tasks, the pebbles around that, and then filling up with all of those kind of little bits of kind of odd telephone calls and reading a few emails. So really kind of being able to do that, and there's lots of tips and tricks in order to be able to do that effectively. And developing that skill is really important to make sure that we maintain our own professional kind of credibility, our reputation, and importantly, the reputation of the PMO within the wider community, whether that be internal or external to our department or organisation. But I just wanted to touch on a couple of behaviours that actually will really help enhance our time management skills and also demonstrate to other people that we've got our stuff together. So just going to start off in the bottom left-hand corner there about probe and challenge confidently in a professional manner. People are very, very keen to give the PMO things to do. And it may be the most important thing for them to do, and they want you to put it to the very top of your priority list. They say, this is one of our big boulders, we really need you plan this in and plan things around it. But actually what's really important is we get a true understanding of kind of, yes, how important it is to them, but also how important it is in relation to the other activities or other stakeholders or other accountabilities across the organization. And so there's obviously some kind of communication skills we're going to use as well, but really feel free to kind of question and ask, as it said, kind of confidently, but in a professional manner, to get a true understanding of the priority of the activity that they're asking us to do and slot into our diary and our kind of limited time. The next one is at the kind of the top there, which is about pay attention to the detail, but be pragmatic and keep the bigger picture in mind. So as I've said, the likelihood is we're going to have more jobs to do than we've got time. However, we are going to have to perhaps sometimes drop things. Now, there's an interesting one. I was having a conversation with somebody this week. There's a difference between kind of completely dropping and placing something down so you can come back and pick it later. But when we use the analogy of kind of dropping balls, that my favorite saying is always make sure that when you drop a ball, it's always one of the rubber ones and not one of the glass ones. So understanding, you know, which are those really things that must get taken, but actually there may be times when we may have to disappoint people, in which case round to the very kind of the third behavior there is about taking ownership of those tasks. So yes, we want to kind of complete them promptly and give them to people and say, yes, thank you, we've done all of that. But it's really important that if you're going to be a bit late or things are not going to schedule, or actually you're not going to have to do it, that we get back to that person and keep them updated as to where those tasks are. And just one final thing in terms of that kind of keeping people updated. An important thing to recognize is that if you don't go back to the person and tell that person that task is actually done and completed, it will be constantly jiggling in their head. Oh, I wonder if it's done. I wonder if it's done. I wonder if it's done. So no task can, a good tip is no task is completed until I've actually told the person who asked me to do it that it's actually been done. So hope that's useful, bit of thinking about in terms of kind of your own personal time management and some behaviours you can help to develop over the next month to make you more effective.
Eileen, that's great. Thank you so much. I especially like that one. It's not done until it's done and handed over and been received. Beautiful stuff.